Welcome back to Weekend Hustlers, the show that helps you kind of stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the job market.
That's right.
And I'm Pavlov.
I'm Nikita.
And today we're going to be looking at, we're doing a deep dive into the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report.
Yes, we are.
2025.
2025.
This report basically is kind of like a cheat sheet, I guess you could say, for what the future of work looks like.
It is. It gives us a really great roadmap.
Now, this isn't just some, kind of flimsy prediction.
Right.
They surveyed over 1,000 employers.
Wow.
Representing 14 million workers.
That's huge.
Across 22 industries and 55 economies.
This is a very thorough report.
So this is a massive sample size we're talking about here.
Yes, it is. It's very comprehensive.
So when we're talking about this, we're not just talking about some small little, think tank or whatever. This is a very substantial
Absolutely.
sort of piece of research that we're looking at.
Yeah.
And they're looking 5 years ahead.
5 years.
All the way to 2030.
To 2030, that's right.
To see what jobs, skills, and even paychecks are going to look like.
Yeah,
So let's start by looking at the big picture here.
Okay.
What are the major forces that are shaping the future of work?
Yeah.
And the report highlights a few key trends. And the first one that we should talk about is broadening digital access.
Okay.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, we get it. Technology is important.
Right.
But this is about more than just having the latest gadgets.
It is. It's about the sheer number of people that are going to be coming online.
Right.
And how that impacts everything from business models to consumer behavior.
Exactly. So think about it. In 2030, internet access is going to be even more widespread than it is today.
Right.
That means that businesses are going to have access to a global talent pool.
Right.
But it also means they'll need to adapt to new ways of working.
Absolutely. New ways of thinking and working.
And the report found that a whopping 60%
60%.
of employers believe that this broadening digital access is going to fundamentally transform their business by 2030.
That's a significant number.
That's a huge number.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but here's the interesting part.
Okay.
This digital wave is creating both opportunities and challenges.
Yeah.
The report predicts that the fastest growing and the fastest declining jobs are being driven by technology.
That's an interesting.
We'll get into specific job examples later.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that technology is both a creator
Right.
and a disruptor.
A creator and a disruptor.
Now, shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
The second major trend that the report highlights is the rising cost of living.
This is a big one.
Yeah, this one hits close to home for a lot of people.
Definitely. And it's on the minds of employers, too.
Yeah.
Even if inflation cools down globally,
Right.
half of the employers surveyed said that it's a major concern for them.
And this isn't just an abstract economic indicator.
Yeah.
This directly impacts what jobs are in demand.
Yes.
What skills you need to earn more. And how companies are structuring their workforces.
Absolutely.
So whether you're a freelancer negotiating rates or an employee seeking a raise,
Yeah.
understanding the impact of the rising cost of living is crucial.
That is.
Now, the third trend that we need to talk about is climate change.
Okay.
This is a big one.
Yes.
It is. And it's not just about renewable energy jobs,
Right. A lot of people think that, but it's so much more than that.
which is what a lot of people tend to think of first.
Yeah.
It's about how climate change is impacting every industry,
Yes.
from agriculture to construction to even white-collar jobs.
Absolutely.
Think about it. As we adapt to a changing climate,
Right.
we'll need new infrastructure, new farming techniques, new ways of building and designing cities.
Absolutely.
And that means
new jobs.
new skills,
Yes.
new opportunities for those who are prepared.
Exactly.
The report highlights some other key trends as well, like aging populations and shifting global power dynamics.
We'll touch on those a bit later.
We'll touch on those a bit later, but for now, let's move on to the part that I think everyone's really excited about.
Yeah.
The jobs of the future.
All right. The good stuff.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks here.
Yeah, let's get into it.
What jobs will be hot in 2030?
Yeah.
What should weekend hustlers be focusing on?
Okay, well, the report predicts that 3 categories are going to see some explosive growth.
Okay.
And those are technology, green jobs, and the care economy.
Okay, let's break those down.
All right.
When we talk about technology jobs,
Yeah.
what are we really talking about? Because technology is a pretty broad term.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Right. Within technology, think about fields like AI,
Okay.
big data, cybersecurity, and cloud computing.
Uh-huh.
These are the areas where we're going to see massive growth. So specific jobs might include things like AI specialists,
Right.
data scientists,
Okay.
cybersecurity analysts, and cloud architects.
Gotcha. And why are these jobs booming? Well, it kind of circles back to that first trend we discussed.
Yeah.
Broadening digital access.
Exactly.
As more people and businesses go online,
Right.
the demand for these tech-savvy professionals
Yeah.
skyrockets.
It's so essential, yeah.
Exactly. Now let's move on to green jobs.
Okay.
What's exciting about this category is that it's not just limited to one specific sector.
Right. There's a lot going on in this space.
We're talking about jobs in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, green building, and even environmental consulting.
Yeah.
So think about roles like solar panel installers,
Right.
wind turbine technicians,
Uh.
sustainable agriculture specialists, green building architects, and environmental consultants.
Yeah.
These jobs are being driven by the urgent need to address climate change
Absolutely.
and the increasing demand for sustainable solutions.
Yes.
Now, the third category, it's the care economy might seem a little less flashy
Right.
than AI or renewable energy,
Yeah.
but it's incredibly important.
It is incredibly important.
And it's only going to become more important as populations age,
Exactly.
right? We're talking about jobs in healthcare, social work, and elder care.
Yeah.
So think about roles like registered nurses,
Okay.
medical assistants,
Yeah.
social workers, therapists, and home health aides.
So these jobs, they require a lot of compassion,
Right.
empathy, and specialized skills.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in high demand
Yeah.
as the need for care services continues to grow.
So we've talked about the good news,
Yeah.
the jobs that are on the rise. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
The report also highlights some jobs that are on the decline.
It does.
And this is where things might get a little uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Specifically, we're looking at clerical work
Okay.
and traditional non-automated manufacturing roles.
Okay.
Think about jobs like data entry clerks,
Right.
administrative assistants, and assembly line workers.
Yeah, those are, yeah.
These jobs are being impacted by automation and the shift towards digital processes.
Absolutely.
So if you're in one of these fields, does this mean you're doomed?
That's a good question.
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but it does mean you need to be proactive.
Yeah.
You need to start thinking about how your existing skills
Right.
can be adapted to this new world of work.
That's a really good point.
And that brings us to, I think, the most empowering part of this whole discussion.
Okay.
The skills that you can start learning now
Yeah.
to future-proof your career.
Exactly, because you have control over this.
Exactly.
That's right. And even though some jobs are changing or even disappearing,
Right.
there are plenty of things that you can do to stay ahead of the curve.
Yep. Yeah.
It's all about being adaptable and willing to learn new things.
And that's what Weekend Hustlers is all about, right?
Absolutely.
Helping you stay informed, stay motivated, and stay ahead of the game.
100%.
So let's dive into the skills that will be in high demand in the years to come.
All right, let's do it.
What are the skills that every weekend hustler should have on their radar?
Let's get into it.
We'll get into that right after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Weekend Hustlers.
We're picking up where we left off, exploring the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 and diving deep into the skills that'll make you a superstar in the job market of tomorrow.
Yeah, get ready because we're going to give you all the info you need to know.
All right, so the report identifies 3 broad skill categories that are growing the fastest in importance.
Okay.
And those are AI and big data, cybersecurity, and tech literacy.
Yeah. These are really
Now,
important.
I know those might sound intimidating, especially if you're not a tech whiz.
Right.
But don't worry, you don't need to become a coding guru overnight.
Absolutely not. The key takeaway here is that these are really broad categories, and within each one, there's tons of different jobs and specializations.
Right.
So you don't have to be an expert in absolutely everything.
So, for example, under AI and big data, you could have roles like data analysts, machine learning engineers, or even AI ethicists,
Oh, yeah.
which is a whole other fascinating area.
It is very interesting.
And within cybersecurity, you could specialize in network security, ethical hacking, or data privacy.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
And tech literacy. Well, that's becoming essential for pretty much everyone.
I mean, everyone needs to have some level of tech literacy these days.
Yeah, you don't need to be a programmer, but you do need to understand the basics of how technology works, how to use different software and tools, and how to navigate the digital world safely and effectively.
Right, just the basics.
But here's the thing that I found really interesting.
Okay.
The report doesn't just focus on technical skills.
No, it doesn't.
In fact, it emphasizes that human skills are still incredibly valuable.
Yes.
And in many ways becoming even more important.
More important now than ever.
Why is that?
Well, because as technology takes over more routine tasks, those uniquely human skills are going to be what sets us apart.
Okay, so what are they talking about specifically?
Well, the report highlights 3 human skills that are absolutely essential for the future of work. Creative thinking.
Okay.
Resilience and flexibility.
Okay.
And curiosity and lifelong learning.
Okay, let's unpack those a bit.
Okay.
Creative thinking. Why is that so important in the age of AI?
Well, think about it. AI is great at automating repetitive tasks.
Okay.
Following instructions and analyzing data.
Yeah.
But it's not so good at coming up with new ideas, thinking outside the box,
Right.
or solving problems in innovative ways.
Right.
And that's where human creativity comes in.
Okay.
We need people who can think critically, come up with original solutions, and adapt to unexpected challenges.
I see.
So creative thinking is super important.
Which brings us to the next skill.
Okay.
Resilience and flexibility.
Right. In a world that's constantly changing, being able to adapt quickly and bounce back from setbacks is essential.
So true.
And this isn't just about dealing with major life changes like job losses or industry disruptions. It's also about being able to handle everyday challenges.
Right. Changing priorities and unexpected obstacles. So just rolling with the punches.
Exactly. Just going with the flow.
And the third, human skill curiosity and lifelong learning. Well, that's something we talk about a lot on Weekend Hustlers.
We do. It's so important.
And it's more important than ever.
Yeah.
Because the world is changing so rapidly. You can't just rely on what you learned in school or even in your first few jobs.
Nope. You got to keep learning.
You need to be constantly learning, updating your skills, and exploring new ideas.
Absolutely.
And that's where curiosity comes in.
Right.
It's the fuel that drives lifelong learning. It's what makes you want to explore new topics, ask questions, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone.
It's that inner drive.
So no matter what you do now, adding some of these technical and human skills to your repertoire can make you a highly sought-after asset in the job market of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And the great thing is that there are so many resources available to help you develop these skills.
There are.
Online courses, boot camps, workshops, books, podcasts like this one.
Right there at your fingertips.
Exactly. There's no excuse for not investing in your own growth and development.
You've got to invest in yourself.
Now, we've talked about what employers are looking for in terms of skills.
Yeah.
But what are they actually doing to prepare their workforces for the future?
That's a really good question.
That's a great question. The report highlights some interesting trends in how companies are approaching workforce development and hiring.
Oh, interesting.
We'll dive into that right after this. Welcome back to Weekend Hustlers.
We're wrapping up our deep dive into the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025
Yeah.
by looking at what employers are actually doing to adapt to these changes.
Right. We've talked about the trends, the hot jobs, and the must-have skills.
Yeah.
But now let's see how all that translates into action.
Let's see what companies are actually doing.
So one of the biggest takeaways from the report is that companies are investing heavily in upskilling and reskilling their employees.
Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
The report found that over 50% of workers globally are already enrolled in some sort of training program.
That's a lot.
That's a significant number, and it shows that companies are recognizing the importance of continuous learning and development.
It's not a nice to have anymore. It's a must have.
Yeah, it's not just about acquiring new skills either. It's also about adapting your existing skills to new roles and responsibilities.
That's right. Your skills are always evolving.
Exactly. So if you're an employee, don't be afraid to ask your employer about training opportunities.
You should definitely be proactive about that.
And if you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur, make sure that you're investing in your own development.
Absolutely. You're responsible for your own growth.
Now let's talk about AI.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is a topic that generates a lot of anxiety, with people worried about robots taking over their jobs.
The robot takeover.
Right.
Yeah, it's a common fear.
But the report actually paints a more nuanced picture.
It does. It's not all doom and gloom.
While companies are definitely embracing AI, they're mainly using it to augment their workforce, not replace it entirely.
Right. It's about working smarter, not harder.
So it's more about humans and AI working together, each leveraging their strengths.
Exactly. A dynamic duo.
For now, at least, the focus is on using AI to automate routine tasks, improve efficiency, and enhance decision-making.
Yeah, those are all good things.
But it's important to stay informed about how this technology is evolving and what it might mean for your job in the long term.
Right. Always be learning and adapting.
Now, another significant shift happening in the workplace is the move towards skills-based hiring.
This is huge.
This is a big deal, especially for people who don't have traditional degrees or who are looking to switch careers.
Right, because it means that your actual skills and abilities matter more than just a piece of paper.
Yeah, companies are realizing that a degree doesn't always equal competence.
Not always.
So how does skills-based hiring actually work?
Well, instead of relying solely on resumes and interviews, companies are using skills assessments, portfolios, and work samples to evaluate candidates.
So you got to be able to walk the walk.
Exactly. So don't just tell.
So if you're a weekend hustler, it's more important than ever to build a strong portfolio that showcases your skills and your experience.
Absolutely. Your portfolio is your calling card.
And don't be afraid to highlight your side projects, volunteer work, or even your hobbies.
Right. Anything that shows off what you can do.
Anything that demonstrates your skills and abilities.
Now let's switch gears and talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
DEI.
This is something that companies have been talking about a lot lately.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
And the report suggests that they're starting to put some action behind those words.
So they're actually doing something?
Yeah, it's not just lip service.
Over 50% of employers are planning to increase their focus on women,
Okay.
Gen Z, and people with disabilities.
That's good news.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
But there's a catch.
Oh, there's always a catch.
The report also found that there's less emphasis on people from disadvantaged socioeconomic backgrounds or migrants and refugees.
So there's still some work to do.
So while there is progress being made in some areas of DEI,
Right.
there's still work to be done.
Absolutely. We need to keep pushing for more inclusivity.
Now, let's talk about the topic that I think everyone's always interested in: money.
The big question.
Will all these changes lead to higher pay?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
That's the million-dollar question.
Literally.
Well, the report suggests that it's possible.
Okay, so there's hope.
Over 50% of employers are planning to increase the share of revenue that's going to wages.
That's a good sign.
But there are a couple of key drivers behind this.
Okay, what are they?
First, companies are trying to keep up with worker productivity.
Makes sense.
You know, if you're more productive, you're more valuable, and you deserve to be compensated accordingly.
Right. You got to earn it.
And second, companies are competing for top talent.
Yeah, in a tight labor market, companies need to offer competitive salaries and benefits.
To attract and retain the best employees.
Exactly.
So if you've got those in-demand skills
Yeah.
and you're a high performer,
Right.
you're in a good position to negotiate a better deal.
Absolutely know your worth.
Absolutely. Now, one final point from the report that I found really fascinating.
I'm curious.
The report cites research from ADP that found the more specialized your skills are, the wider the pay gap within your job zone.
Oh, interesting.
So for those highly specialized roles, your individual skills and your ability to negotiate really matter.
So it's all about honing those unique skills.
It's all about knowing your worth and being able to articulate it effectively.
So there you have it, weekend hustlers.
A deep dive into the future of jobs.
The world of work is changing rapidly, but by staying informed,
Right.
being adaptable, and continuously honing your skills, you can not only survive, but thrive.
That's right.
We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights and inspiration.
And if you want to explore the report in more detail, you can check out the Interactive Data Explorer on the World Economic Forum's website.
Yeah, and be sure to subscribe to Weekend Hustlers on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts for more insights and advice on navigating the future of work.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.